You're listening to The Jeff Crilley Show on Talk Radio 1190.
Welcome back to The Jeff Crilley Show. I'm Sarah Crilley, filling in for my dad, Jeff. He's in San Diego, but don't worry, he'll be back next weekend. I'm joined in studio here with the ladies in CRE and my guest host, Kathleen Denoyer. So excited to get to know these ladies here. Hey, Allison Johnston and Brittany Shavanik. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having us.
So I'm just so excited to be able to have the opportunity to interview both of you today because I'm just learning about the ladies in CRE, which is Ladies in Commercial Real Estate. Tell us a little bit about your backstory. How did you guys get started?
Well, we started about 5 years ago, I'd say, with about 30 girls, and it was really just a need to have a female network in a really male-dominant industry. And so we just kind of got together, did a little casual happy hour, wine and cheese type deal. And next thing you know, girls were like, well, we want to host the next. We want to do the next. And so here we are 5 years later, and we have over 500 members.
Wow, that's huge. We're
exciting.
huge fans of networking, so we'll have to come check it out. Tell us a little bit about like what the past 5 years has been like and what this, you were sharing with me this last year, you were having kind of a theme of the year, which was really exciting to hear. It was on personal branding. So tell us a little bit about kind of the past 5 years, and then are you doing kind of, inspired from what your members are wanting to learn and grow from your group, or kind of fill us in of where you've been and where you are today?
Yeah, absolutely. So we started, like Allison said, 5 years ago with just 30 girls in a room doing a happy hour. And then from there, because in our industry, in our world, to be a part of a networking group, it costs money. So we thought, well, we're starting out young professionals after college, and to be a part of some of the networking groups that we really wanted to be a part of to grow our career, it might have been like $500 a year.
It's expensive.
Right. So when we got together, we were like, well, what if we had our companies pay for this? They want us to network with each other so that we are all in the same industry and we're getting business from each other. But what if we had everyone's company pay for it instead of it being out of our pocket, and we still are accomplishing the same goal? So it kind of spiraled from there, and Allison was like, I want to host one. And one of our other team members, Natalie, was like, oh, well, my company will host one. And, it wasn't breaking their bank to give us $500 to do, a wine and cheese platter, and all get to hang out. So from there, it just kind of grew and grew and grew. And I think it was 2 years ago, we started a website and got an LLC and just became a little bit official. But we're still definitely like, a small fish in the pond of networking. But it doesn't cost anything to be a part of our group, which is really nice. And this year we focused on building your brand, which we think is like really important. And we had some really great speakers.
We did. We had an awesome panel that Jeff actually was
Yeah.
there to film. But we had one of the Real Housewives of Dallas.
Oh, awesome.
Deandra
Which one?
Simmons.
Deandra Simmons. We love her.
Who's an entrepreneur, started her own line called Hard Night, Good Morning. And we had the publisher, Blake Stevenson for Modern Luxury Dallas,
fantastic.
speak on it. And we just had a huge turnout, and it was a really big response. And it just showed us that, next year, just thinking about what we're going to be doing next year, we've got a huge desire for girls. And we're primarily in our 20s and 30s, so we're still getting established and getting going in our careers and growing. And just the mentorship component. So we try to incorporate a more seasoned professional, if you will, at each one of our quarterly networking events. And we're going to start a breakfast, kind of a mentor series too next year. But it's a great organization. I think I've made personally some really, really great friendships out of it. And then professionally, there's a lot of business synergy. So Brittany represents tenants. I represent office buildings, so we can work together. They're construction girls, architects, you name it, the gamut. We have that in our group and represented, and the more that we can have that synergy and work with each other, the more successful we will be and the more we'll take over.
I love that. And those of you that can't see them, their eyes are just shining.
Yeah.
They're so passionate about this. And I think it's just great to have that bond together again in your industry and be able to ask questions and meet different people that maybe you wouldn't have the opportunity to, and to be able to network and grow with them is just really cool to have that.
And to kind of paint a picture for a lot of people who don't know like what commercial real estate is like, it is extremely male-dominated, like Allison said. And when I started almost 6 years ago, I didn't know anybody. I didn't come from a commercial real estate background, and a lot of people, their families are in commercial real estate, and that's why they get into it. And so when I would walk into a networking event alone, it was 95% white men that are 50, 60. So it was really hard for me to connect or go up to them and talk to them. And so
and girls used to not be invited to some of the bigger events.
Really?
Like Fight Night at the Anatole. I think they have over 1,000 people. and it's for charity. But up until I think the mid to actually the late 90s, females were not allowed for reasons I will not disclose.
There's definitely a need for your group. And then to go back to the personal branding, and how fitting is that to have kind of your growing brand of ladies in CRE in your 5 years? And what did both of you take away from kind of this year and that theme of personal branding?
You know, we were fortunate to have Deborah Ferguson with NBC5 do a featured story on us.
Really? Congratulations.
And it was really flattering on, I guess, what was it, Tuesday morning, the whole Matt Lauer sexual harassment broke. And so I immediately got a call from Deborah Ferguson, and she was like, Allison, would you do me a huge favor? We want to air a story on the 6 o'clock news tonight, and this is like at 10 a.m. And she's like, can you get a panel or just a group of girls to do a roundtable discussion on sexual harassment for us? So at 2 o'clock, we rounded up a few girls, and we were on the news that evening talking about sexual harassment. And it's something that I think a lot of women encounter at one point or another in life, just in general, not to mention at work. And so it was really neat to, I had a conversation with my grandmother who dealt with sexual harassment in the 50s, being a female principal.
Wow.
And so it's kind of one of those topics that I know we don't talk about in our industry probably near enough because it's still so male dominant, but it does happen and it's a real thing. But it was really cool to see that Deborah's producer remembered our group and said, hey, reach out to those girls. They could probably shed some light on this.
Well, I think that speaks to that kind of a group and what success that you're having. So what other things do you think that this group will be able to benefit other women in the industry? Because I didn't realize, honestly, that it was that broad, that you're talking about women who work for architects versus, I thought tenants, I thought, the people who own the building. So what do you see for your future and how you'd like to grow within the industry?
I hope that we just get bigger and better, and this is something that's kind of like our side job. We don't get paid to do this, and I'm straight commission, and so it's kind of a little bit difficult for us to manage how fast this is growing because we're really excited about how fast it's growing. But I think leaning on the members to tell us what they're craving, because what I have experienced in commercial real estate so far is just that it's kind of hard to find, like Allison said, those mentors that really take the time to teach you every little thing that you need to know about, because I have my own LLC. I have my own kind of company inside of a company, and most people do. So teaching you the ins and out of that and how to build your brand and what exactly that means to do that. And so I think the mentorship part is something that I'm very excited about, and I hope next year we can kind of go to the next level with that and maybe even have smaller group settings of mentors that come in and talk and counsel and, just help us kind of grow our small mini businesses with inside commercial real estate.
Right. That's exciting.
So you had mentioned you have 4 events a year, or kind of tell us about, is it a monthly membership? What does a member get in that?
Yeah, so we have 4 quarterly, kind of our big networking happy hour events. And then we've started a new member breakfast. There are a lot of young girls getting the business, and you walk into this room with all these other females, and it's intimidating. And so we want to give them an opportunity to have some familiar faces. And then, gosh, what else? I mean,
So we have events, then we do a lot of charity stuff too. We have a philanthropy aspect. We do a lot with animals.
Women helping women charities. That's kind of our focus because it's the premise of the group in general.
Have you ever thought about partnering with other groups from other industries? Because I'm not in that industry, but do you invite other people from different industries to come in and just at least be a part of it for a moment?
We've had some people, especially after the NBC news story aired, we had some people attend that maybe we're in insurance or, we're in the apartment leasing business.
A peripheral
that kind of thing.
market.
Right. So I'm sure, it's still kind of evolving. The last 2 years, we've really put a leadership team together and grown it even more. But I'm sure, and we've had a few speakers come in. We had Donna Arp-Weitzman come in, who wrote the book. Even Cinderella has cellulite.
Yes.
And we're like, yes.
She's fabulous.
Someone who's real.
Well, and a woman who's been very successful in business.
Yes,
that's the thing.
very.
My mother was very successful in owning her own business, so she has guided me a lot over the last many years, even though our businesses are completely different. Just talking to somebody who's fought through it, who's struggled through it really helps. And that's why I was wondering, would you bring in speakers like legal experts? Because I know I didn't learn in college how to set up an LLC or anything like that. I mean, that's scary to start doing that.
Yeah, we encourage we would love to have, if there is someone out there that wants to talk to us about that, we would love to have someone like that come and speak, because you're totally right. I didn't know I had to research that all on my own. I was sitting in Barnes & Noble on the floor with like taxes for dummies and LLCs for dummies for the first year of my career, trying to figure out, what I needed to do to get started on this. So it's definitely, we would love someone like that.
So what you're saying is you want to be on our leadership team.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm on a few leadership teams. I don't know about that. But, I work with a young business professionals group, 21 to 40, the Dallas Junior Chamber of Commerce. And you guys are a little bit more industry specific. But I think that just having these different groups together so that you could learn from each other might be something to do. There's a lot of young professionals networking out there. So I think we should work on that.
That's a great idea.
We should get together.
Sure.
Absolutely.
It has been such a joy to have you both on the show.
you.
Give
Thanks
us
for
your
having
website and how to get connected with you.
It's ladiesinCRE.com, and then I think all of our social media should be linked there. I think our Instagram is Ladies in CRE, Facebook is Facebook at Ladies in CRE. Everything is Ladies in CRE.
And give us kind of just in closing, kind of an invitation. Anybody who's listening today on our show, how to, they'll get connected, and what's the next event that they could get plugged into, and how much are your memberships?
So our next event will be, we don't have a date yet.
No, it's March 1st.
Oh, March 1st,
Yeah,
that's
March
right.
1st is the date. And to be a member, it takes a lot. You just go online and you type in your email in the website, and you're a member right
And
there.
hit subscribe.
So, yeah,
I don't
just
know
hit
if I can
subscribe.
handle that.
It
It's
doesn't
a lot.
cost any money, and we would love to have as many girls who want to be a part of our group.
That's so awesome. And Kathleen with the Dallas Junior
Yes.
Chamber, I think we need to get plugged in with
We'll
them
have to
they're young
collaborate.
I think we do. We're
We
an
could
old
learn from
organization.
y'all.
Yeah,
'Cause we
we're
could learn, because we're still like these little tiny Bambies.
We're 100 years old next year, and you guys are new, but it's lovely to see that, putting something together like this can actually really boost each other in the industry. And I love it, and we're going to do something. You stick around. We're going to do something
Okay,
together
cool.
next
I
year
love
for
it.
sure.
I think
Nice.
that sounds great. So again, thank you so much for being
Thank
guests
you so
on
much
the
for
show.
having us.
And so we have a really fun-filled segment coming up. Coming up, Evan Duncan. He's with Tough Fitness and an exciting new project that's coming to Dallas. Don't go away.
More of the Jeff Crilley Show coming up.